Boy, that explosion shook Northwest Portland as a water tower on the historic Centennial Mills building came crashing down, and the demolition continues this morning.
Fox News' Mackenzie Richmond joins us live with a look at things. Mackenzie, I know earlier we saw part of the wall come down as well.
Yeah, this morning we've been seeing a really long, high-reaching crane go up to the building and shaking the side of the walls. You have to remember that there is no interior structure, any sort of foundation now holding it together. Oh, look at that. We're actually going to slowly see coming up over that tree right now a demo team member. Not sure what they're going to be doing, but this morning, just as you guys just mentioned, we have seen that crane coming up and shaking the walls, and piece by piece, it takes about 10 seconds or so for a piece to break off and then fall inside, just like many of us saw that water tower come crashing down into the building itself yesterday. But this demolition is going to be pretty gradual from here on out, even though that water tower explosion was pretty sudden, pretty dramatic yesterday. From here on out, it's going to take about 2 weeks, the team says. That's according to the city, to slowly demo the building piece by piece. And this is a really shocking sight for many neighbors to see, especially after this building has been standing here along Portland's waterfront for well over 100 years. Now, for those who don't already know, if the building does fall on its own as they continue these efforts slowly over the next few weeks now, the city has warned about asbestos and other hazards in the air. There are quite a few people, neighbors around this area, walking around this morning, taking their dogs out, walking to school or work, wherever they may be going, that I have seen wearing masks, because you actually can smell it, especially when the wall comes crashing in as they break down and the dust comes up. We can't see it now, but we were able to see it probably within the last 15 minutes. There is a certain smell to it. It's not clear if that is hazardous. The city is monitoring levels, and we haven't gotten any information on that yet. But so far, I have to say, I do think the building has proved to be a bit stronger than many of us expected, especially after not collapsing when that water tower was blown off. But once the building does come completely down, then that is when investigators can sift through the rubble to find out exactly what caused the building to go up in flames back on August 2nd. Now, a cadaver dog, as many of us do know, did alert officials to potential human remains inside the building, but officials can't confirm until they can safely go through the property themselves. Now, while they gradually demolish the historic building, Field Park, as you can see back out here right now, and NATO Parkway, which is down below the park, they are still closed to the public for safety reasons. Especially, as I mentioned, we are able to kind of smell and even see that dust come up into the air. And again, the city has warned of potential asbestos and other hazards, safety hazards coming up into the air. And they do say that they are monitoring air quality levels, and nothing to note as of right now, but we'll continue to keep a close eye and bring you updates both on air and on our Fox 12 app. For now, reporting live, I'm Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Workin'.